And we are live. Oh, keep playing. You can keep playing the music. Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome, ladies. Come on in. Um,
Hello,
we,
hello.
we can keep playing our little song till it ends. It's only a minute.
Hey, Kim, you're muted. I think you were speaking.
I am?
No, Kimberly Johnson.
Oh. Hi.
There you go. I saw your mouth moving, but I was like, can't hear.
Hello, hello. So, Ava, can we keep our little song playing for a minute while it comes on? No.
She might have jumped over to YouTube.
Oh,
Trying to
okay.
manage them both.
Okay,
Had
I
an
understand.
emergency, so.
I understand.
Brandy.
Okay, but I want a chat.
Yay, there she is.
And I gotta host it because Whitney had an emergency. But why you tell what time?
I told him, I'll call him and he didn't pick up. And then I said, I'll call you later for lunch.
Okay, so can you just I can mute in a minute, but I gotta make sure we get started.
Okay.
That's fine.
Oops.
I can mute in a minute. I gotta make sure we get started.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Velvet Room, ladies. Welcome to the Velvet Room. I am your host, Rhonda Slade. And for those of you who this might be your first time, let me just introduce myself really quickly. Rhonda Slade, Bennett College, class of 91. I majored in business. And then I went on to do some things in business, and then I changed over, became an educator. So then I went to another HBCU, the University of District of Columbia, and got my master's in education from there. And now I'm an administrator at a school in DC. And I have been the host of this fabulous show now since I guess about June, July, maybe time frame. And it has grown over the months, and I'm honored to be the host. Just to give you a little background on what the Velvet Room is all about. We are here as beautiful, educated, phenomenal Black women coming together to talk about some of our our challenges, but also some of our victories, and help build each other up as we move along this world, move along in this world as single, beautiful, positive, educated Black women, and the different things that we've learned as we've had these talks, that even though we're in different parts of the country, different stages and ages in life, that we're all basically dealing with some of the same things. And so we're able to help each other, build each other up. So that's why today's topic or today's theme is Rise Up. Rise Up. This year has been, whew, just right, just one for the books, one for has definitely tried everyone's faith, has tested everyone's patience, our resolve, our mental health, everything. But as my pastor says, we're still here, right? We're still here. And so this is an opportunity for us to reflect on the positives and then see how we're going to continue to rise up, right? There have been some lows this year. There have been some lows this month, just this past week, in the last couple of weeks, as I look at some of the posts in the lounge, and we've had some low moments, we've had some high moments. But as we're reflecting over the year, this time of the year is when we usually reflect and think about the next year and plans for the next year. I wanted us to rise up and come together and help each other elevate. Naisha posted a wonderful post. I'm going to find it in a minute. that was talking about when you date me, you're elevating, right? And so I want to talk about that a little bit. How are we elevating? How are we elevating ourselves? How are we elevating our future mates? How are we elevating our communities? Um, so that's just in a nutshell what the plan is for today. Please, this is always meant to be an interactive situation. Um, I am actually not feeling my 100% best. So I have my tea over here and my voice keeps kind of going in and out. So I plan to not talk as much tonight to give y'all the opportunity to talk. And I will be the facilitator. And let's just do what we do as the ladies of the Velvet Room. Again, we normally we work on keeping it positive, keeping it uplifting. We've talked about everything from sex to how much we love men. We've talked about traumas. We've talked about entanglements. We've talked about a little bit of everything. So just wanted to take that conversation to the next level. I've missed y'all. We haven't been together since the end of October. And so here we are. So welcome. I've talked a lot. I'm going to open the floor for anyone that wants to say anything or start us off with anything. I am open, open, open. So please, I know we try to do, since there are so many of us, we try to do the orderly thing and raise our hands and all that. So if you can, please do that. If I'm looking at it, y'all taught me how to do that, how to see who has their hands raised, and we'll go from there. So anyone want to start us off? Oh, Charlene, I saw you unmute yourself. So you want to say
Oh
something?
yes, you already know I'm ready. Um, I saw the topic rise up, and it was definitely one that I was excited about just because when I think about rising up, I think about the many challenges that I faced this year. I think
Mm-hmm.
about the challenges that some of my loved ones are facing, some of my newfound friends from the group and just in online platforms in general are going through. So I was just going to pose the question to the ladies on, what are some things, and you don't have to be too personal if you don't feel comfortable, but I see we have some new ladies on. So what are some things that you have noticed or some things that you have overcome or risen up from? Just to give yourself a pat on the back because it's the end of the year and you deserve it.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. Someone, anyone? Come on. Kimberly, are you talking to us? Because you're mute. You're on mute again.
I was I was trying to find the thing to raise my hand.
Okay, no worries.
I was doing the
But
same thing, Kimberly.
I was like, where is it? So yeah, I think for me, especially in 2020, being difficult, we talk about love languages on in the group, and my primary love language, very strong, is physical touch.
Yeah.
And so just even my friends, like not hugging my friends has been very difficult. And I'm just proud of myself because the first 2 weeks of the shutdown, I thought I was going to lose it. And it hadn't been long. And I'm an introvert and I like staying at home. But being required to stay at home, I found myself going to Walgreens, just walking around, not talking to anybody, but it was like my rebellion, like, getting out, not talking to anybody, not touching anybody. And then when my friends and I finally decided, okay, we're going to have to get together, a bunch of single people, we've been getting together, but still not being able to hug and touch was very difficult for me. And so I found my release in working out and getting outside. Every day I get outside and walk outside, and then I'll do another workout. And it's a little bit obsessive right now, I'll admit. Like yesterday I said I was going to work out in the evening and I almost went. Then I saw something online and I almost didn't. I had to tell myself to sit down, but I had to find a release. And I'm glad that I was able to find a release, a healthy release, because I have been drinking more too. So those probably offset, but to
Right.
find a healthy release and just making it through the year. I don't think a lot of people give themselves enough credit for just surviving, whether you gained weight, whether you cry every day, whether you go in and out of depressive states. Making it through this year deserves a pat on the back, in my opinion.
So true. So true. And thank you for saying that because I was literally beating myself up earlier as I was looking at some pictures of myself last year when my face was slimmer. And I was like, and I was in a video for work and I was like, oh, I'm a whale in this video. I was because I have gained weight this the pandemic pounds have come on. And it was one of those things where I was just beating myself up. So thank you, Kimberly, for helping me rise up from that, because it was when I was starting to like do the show today with my camera off. That's how bad I was feeling. I was like, no, this is not gonna work. So thank you, thank you, thank you uh, for that. Charlene, since you had such a wonderful question, what have you rised up from? Risen, that's not even, I'm an English teacher. What have you risen up from this year?
Um, oof, I think the biggest thing that I have was from heartbreak. Being that I had just come out of a relationship, I took the time to ask myself some really tough questions about if I wanted to get into another relationship or how I just wanted to approach dating. Being that I met my last partner in law school, so I prefer that face-to-face kind of meeting, but I know that online dating is a big thing. So just putting myself out there on an online platform and being open to conversations with men and like what that looks like to date virtually. And then with COVID, it was just like, okay, virtual dates and things like that. So it's been a learning experience, but I'm definitely grateful for it. Just to know that I'm whole, that I'm better, that I am open to love and I'm open to give love. So
Yeah, that's important. And that's great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I see in the comments, my Bennett sister says, LaCheryl said, I agree. We must show ourselves some grace as well. So that is important. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Stacy, you looking real cool in that hat. I love it. And that smile. Oh my goodness. So what have you risen up from this year? Yes, I'm putting you on the spot, but I know my ladies. I know the ones that are going to speak up. So, and Kimberly, you're next. Don't worry, Kimberly Hardeman, you next. So be thinking about thinking about your answer. All right, go ahead, Stacy.
Well, I just have to switch it up for y'all every time, so that's how I am. Honestly, it's just the last actually 2 years. So even before COVID, there were some things that happened that kind of set me back a little bit, kind of pushed me back. And there are a few people in the group who are friends with me on social media, like either Instagram or Facebook. And I actually put up a post yesterday about a quote that, or not a quote, but advice that I had gotten from someone I know personally, just Rashawn Ali, because last year, I had a pretty heavy blow kind of hit me like in February of last year. And we were at a retreat. I was on the board of directors for her 40 Girls Inc. organization down here in Atlanta. And so we were at a retreat and I came in there, and I am not a person who cries in front of people. I intentionally try not to do that. Like, I'm just not. But the blow was so heavy that I actually, people could see stuff on my face. And then as soon as somebody asks you kind of like, what's wrong? That is usually the trigger, right? For something to be like, oh Lord, I wasn't gonna do that, And so it just came out. And one of the things she said to me was, hey, you are a boss. Like, she took the time out of what we were, doing, because it was kind of like a festive thing. We were all getting together. And she just said, hey, you are a boss. You are strong enough to get through whatever might come your way. And you still need to give yourself grace. So give yourself 24 hours to dwell on this, cry about it, do whatever it is you got to do. But then you're going to have to get up. You're going to have to, boss up. You're going to have to keep it moving, because you basically are dope enough and strong enough to do that. Right. And it was just important to me because, I got some news I didn't really like this week, and it kind of hit me again. And I kind of had to rethink, like, it was actually the next day that I thought about that conversation, and I looked at my clock and I realized my 24 hours were up.
Wow.
From when that happened. And it kind of like made me be like, girl, your 24 hours are up. You got, you know what I'm saying? That's enough of that. Like, yes, life happens. You don't like everything that you're going to hear. You're not going to like everything that people tell you. You're not going to like everything that happens, what you see, what you have to do, the sacrifices that you have to make. A lot of stuff that happens with life, you're not going to like it, but you got to boss up and keep it moving, because at the end of the day, somebody else is going to need you, or somebody else is going to come into your life, or somebody else is going to want what you bring, or somebody else is going to want You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The light that you shine in whatever case it may be. So this could be personally, it could be professionally, it could be emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever. So it's not going to do you, the world, or anybody else any good if you kind of fall apart because something happened. And it was kind of like, I know it sounds bad, but it's kind of like a switch because I was like, my 24 hours up, you know what I'm saying? And I had to let it go. And it's been a lot of things that have hit me over the years, but when, like I said, it was this week and it was like boom, and I was like, oh shoot, like I wasn't ready for that.
Right.
But again, it's been so many things over the last 2 years that now I'm kind of becoming numb, which is kind of bad.
Yeah.
But but I still think that I just wanted to at least share that because I don't know what other people are going through, but because that blessed me so much, I'm hoping that it blesses somebody else.
Yeah, it blessed me. I'm like, okay, 24 hours. I like that. That's enough time. And that goes back to one of the conversations we had, a few months ago, really about the superwoman complex, right? That we have as Black women, where we feel like we have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders and not show any emotions or any pain, or the emotion that we're showing is that we always got to fight. So I think, like I said, giving yourself that 24 hours to do whatever, whether it's scream, yell, cry, throw stuff, break stuff, whatever you have to do.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, boss up and move on. I love it. That is definitely rising up. Thank you for that. See, I knew my ladies weren't gonna disappoint. I knew it. I knew it. So, for those of y'all that are watching on YouTube, because we have a YouTube audience. We only have 6 ladies on the screen for y'all on YouTube because they have their cameras on. But there are actually about 18 ladies in here in the Zoom. So we're going to be talking to some people even without their cameras. You might not see their faces, but you will hear their voices. Um, and we are definitely here to rise up, to build each other up, to support each other, and the topic for those of y'all that might have just joined us, the topic is rise up. We're thinking back over this past year, and all of the challenges that we have overcome. And Charlene posed a great question to the group, thinking about the successes and the things that we have um, accomplished this year just by the fact that we're still here. What have you risen up from? Because again, there were some people that started this year with us who aren't here, unfortunately. And whether it be COVID, whether it be senseless violence, whether it just be their time to go, they're not here, but we still are. And so we're here for a purpose and for a reason. And ideally, we would like to share that purpose and reason with a mate, but we'll get to that in a little bit, right? But
Yeah,
for now, we're going to celebrate us and what we have done, even without one, right?
yeah, Rhonda. I had to start off nice because I got this follow-up question. So
Oh, I
you
know
already
you
know
do. I know.
how I do.
I know how you do, definitely. And I have a few myself. I got my little notes and stuff here, so we're good. So Kimberly, I said I was gonna put you on the hot seat. Kimberly Hardiman, what have you risen up from this year? Because you have made some incredibly insightful posts in the group, and I appreciate you for that. So
Oh, thank you.
yeah. So what I would love to hear from you.
That means a lot. Thank you so much. I love compliments from women
Okay.
because I love us. But
Yes.
I was trying to think of what I could pat myself on the back for, and I really couldn't think of anything. I have been really guilty of taking in other people's pain. I have shed so many tears this year for other people. Some people I don't know, some people I do know. I've just been emotional, and I've been thinking, what is your problem? What you need to be stronger for people. But I've just been really, really, I was about to cry when Stacey was talking.
Mhm.
I'm taking in everything for some reason. I'm trying to figure out what that reason is, but I don't know
It's
yet. So I
it's
guess I
because
pat myself on the back and I drive myself crazy.
yeah, but
That's
you're an empathetic person, and that's
yeah,
what we
but I didn't
need in
think it
this
was
world.
like this. It's multiplied,
It's
really.
multiplied, yeah. And my friends and LaShirl and Cynthia on here, they went to college and they used to tease me, and they still do sometimes because I cry at Hallmark commercials. I cry, you know,
No.
at television, things like that. These daggone Christmas movies have me in boohoo tears every time. But it's not a sadness cry. It's just I think
Mine
like I
is
said,
sad
you're
though.
feeling the emotions of everything that's going on. You're feeling the this is a pressure cooker that we're in right
Yeah.
now, right? This year has definitely been a pressure cooker. And again, I didn't give my little disclaimer that I normally give. I am not a therapist. I am not a mental health professional. I'm just a woman that has reached a certain age, that's been through
Right.
some things, and part of my spiritual gifts are wisdom. Well, my two spiritual gifts are wisdom and exhortation. So that's what I do. I help to build people up, and but oftentimes I don't build myself up, right? So it's like that's why I need this community to help me as well, rise up from some of those things. So no, it is not a bad thing at all. I think again, this year has been the year that has taxed us all on every side. You know, emotionally, physically, financially, personally, just with so much pain that's going on. But then we also see there are so many positive things happening too. So it's almost to the point where I know sometimes I feel a little bad about the positives, like, oh my gosh, should I be celebrating that I got this promotion, or should I be celebrating that my business is doing well when so many people are hurting? And I just, it's one of those difficult things.
Well,
But
my
I
pastor
see
spoke
it,
on that.
right. I
On
just see
that
it as
very thing, like you're scared to when you get good news, you don't want to say anything because so many other people are hurting. So yeah,
Yes, you do.
you
Yes, you
do.
do.
I know
And
you.
that's what
Yeah, he was saying you should, but
you
I mean,
should, right?
still kind of feel like it's in the right
Because
time, you
we're
know.
blessed to be a blessing to
Oh
others, right?
yeah,
And so our story is not for us. Our
right,
story is for someone else. And
right.
so if someone can be inspired by your story or your successes, then that's what the purpose of it is. And so I think that's important, definitely. So thank you for sharing, Kimberly, and keep on feeling. Don't feel bad about it. Keep on.
Hormones.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, that's true too.
I'm
That is
premenopausal.
okay. Hello. Oh,
Yeah.
me too. Because
So
I'm I had the sweatshirt on because I was cold, but now as I'm sitting with these lights on, I'm getting hot, and it's just more like, ooh, should have brought a fan. But okay, so anyone else want to share? I don't want to put you on the spot or meet you, but since you have your camera on, you want to share with us? You can unmute yourself.
Hey, Rhonda, Roxanne has her hand up too.
Oh, I'm sorry, Roxanne. I didn't even see that. I
Oh
truly
yes,
apologize.
Roxanne can go before me.
Well, okay, Roxanne, go ahead. All right, all right.
To
Thank you,
me
Brittany.
too.
You're on mute, Roxanne. You turned your camera on. Thank you, but now you're on mute. Okay, wonderful. Hi.
Hi, that's right. Hi, ladies. Hi, ladies. It's so good to be in company of just some good, caring ladies to be so transparent. This is my first time attending the session. I didn't have my camera on at first because I was trying to eat a late dinner. But needless to say, first of all, I'd like to say that menopause is a real thing.
Yes. Yes.
yes, it
I saw
is.
somebody posted in the group, and I was like, "Oh, this is my group of ladies." They
Yes.
can relate.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
But from a spiritual perspective, when we talk about Rise Up, I really believe in, I used to belong to a group called Titus 2 Women. And really the concept in Titus 2 is that we as mature women are supposed to feed back and reach back into younger women to share our experiences, our life experiences, with hopes that they don't have to go through the pain that we went through. And, sometimes I feel in our community, we grew up where everything is hush, 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 hush. You don't talk about that outside the house and those types of things. And, I'm not totally public with all of my business. I have my close confidants. But I think sometimes, when you see a younger person and they've accomplished something wonderful, it probably would mean so much to them if you would just pre-COVID walk up to them and just give them a hug and say, girl, you got this. What a heck of a way to do that, or congratulate them on whatever it is. The second thing I want to say too is, ladies, it is okay to talk about anxiety and depression, because I was diagnosed about 9 years ago. And when I began to share my story in my close group of Line Sisters, I was shocked how many people were battling the same thing, but I was the first one to talk about it. And so now it was like, oh, it was, it's kind of okay to talk about that. So I think my component in rising up is just be transparent, celebrate where you are, celebrate the friends you have around you. To you guys' point, we have a Black VP. I mean,
Yes.
female Black VP. We can't forget those things in 2020. So I look forward to
That's right.
hearing and chatting with you guys and seeing what other good things come out tonight. So thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you, Roxanne, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. Yes, we have talked about those things too. The depression. We had a therapist one month who blessed us, and as a result of this group, I have actually started therapy too. And I used to tell people all the time they needed to go, but I didn't go. It was just not because I didn't think less of it. It was just one of the things. I don't have time. I don't have time for that. But I have made the time, and it has made a difference. It really, really has. So thank you for sharing that as well. So Armichi, did you want to talk now? I didn't forget you. I'm a teacher. I don't forget to circle back.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Hi, lovely ladies. Good to see you all, beautiful faces.
Yes.
And let me just share, it's ironic as you have this topic that my shirt, let me see if you all can see my shirt. It says, I'm not just a woman, I'm a Wonder Woman.
Woo, yes, I love it.
And that's just how I feel, that how we all are. We are Wonder Women.
Mhm.
And just we're powerful in the things, I always say, I look back at the last thing that I said, I don't know how I can get through, that I got through and in something else.
Yes.
So when I came into this group, I was in the middle of COVID. I had COVID and I went through COVID for 3 months.
Wow.
It was a journey, to say the least. But it was, I just came out of something with a family member that took me through. I just say that person went to jail, and we didn't have a relationship prior to them going to jail. It was a driving while black thing. They were pulled over for driving in left lane.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up being the person. They just left my house. We repaired our relationship. 15 minutes down the road, they got pulled over, going back home out of state. And so that was an emotional journey. It ended up being a financial journey because I ended up being the only person that said, oh, well, you've been doing wrong all this time, so good riddance, you deserve this. And to find out that they didn't deserve it. And then they came back and had to stay with me until everything got resolved. I ended up catching COVID from them being in jail. They only had the symptoms for a couple of days. I had it for 3 months. Nobody really knows that person is the one that gave me COVID. Came out of that, and now I am literally in the midst of a whole nother medical issue, not related to COVID, but it's something that I will not share with my own family because I learned that everybody does not give you the emotional support that you need when you're going through something. They want to be in the know. And then they want to be your medical doctor. And if you don't follow their guidelines, then you deserve what you get. And so I just had to make a conscious decision to set my boundaries on who is entitled to my peace. And so it kind of hurts that I can't share this with my own family. But I don't need you calling me crying and giving me a lot of the negative spirit when I am, I've made peace with everything and I'm okay. So what I've decided to do is connect with my therapist, as we just said. I go and I vent to her. And she's like, I can't believe you have gone through all this and that you're going through this and you're just such a positive person. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. if I ain't dead yet, I think I'm not gonna die, you know, or whatever I'm entitled. I had a person that literally told me when I had COVID, and I was just so upbeat about it. And I was like, hey girl, I'm just calling you this is my best friend. I'm just calling to let you know I got COVID. I've had it for a little while. It's bad. And I sound like I just woke up every morning. You sound like someone so-and-so. Well, I'm okay. I'm all right. She said, well, I can't believe that you're sounding the way that you do and you're so positive like this when everybody around you is dropping dead from COVID.
Oh my goodness.
That's the reaction that you're gonna give me when I'm trying to be positive about my life. And I'm telling you, like I tell her, when I'm gone, as you all have seen me and my shenanigans online, you are not going to weep for me. You are not going to cry. You may miss my presence, but every memory that you have of me is going to have a laughter behind it. Yeah. You are going to think of nothing but a laugh, a party, and joy when you say Armichi Mimi.
Okay.
So that's what I got for you is that, you know, look for the sunshine. It's okay to go through your 24 hours. But I can say that, you know, in my darkest moment, I remember that was the darkest moment and I'm still okay. I was the bottom and I'm still up here.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you. And you have a lot of comments in our little Zoom chat in here. People,
and I love you.
Yes, a lot of love.
You all are my family, my positive family.
I'm telling you. And that this lounge really has done that. I know for some of the new people who have joined,
I mean that. Yes.
Y'all might not have seen all of the positive because the last couple of weeks haven't been quite as positive. But trust me, when you get to know these people, even though we have not met physically, we just met. Some of us in the DMV area met. Like I met Charlene like last month, and she is my little sister for life. That's my little sister. I love her. Ava and Verdina and everyone. When the people that are in Stacy, I mean, come on now, Stacy is in Atlanta. I have not had the chance to get with her yet, but when I come to Atlanta to see my roomie Cindy, I'm hooking up with Stacy. Right, we gotta come together. And so it's just we have made friends in this group. We have created family in this group. We are here to support each other. That's all part of the rising up too, right? We're gonna how we are our sister's keeper, and how we rise up together in that regard as well. And so, thank you for sharing, Armichi, and know that we are here for you. We are praying for you. We love you for real, and you are here for a purpose and a reason. And that's just you sharing that story right there was enough to bless me because yes, it is definitely necessary. And you're here for a purpose. So thank you so much. Thank you. Any other ladies? Cynthia, I see your hand. Cynthia.
Yes, I was going to tell Kimberly I found it. When you go to the participants, that's where you raise your hand.
Okay.
And also, my comment goes back to what she said earlier, Kimberly Johnson, that is. I met her as well as Verdina back in February, and I joined like from the beginning in January, so coming up on a year. And I met them when we went to the movies for Valentine's or Galentine's or whatever it was called.
That's right. Yeah.
And so Kimberly Johnson and I became friends on Facebook. And my rise up was being encouraged by her with her working out that she said has become obsessive for her. And I did think that at one point, because I said, she always working out. Like she's at home working out, or she's here, she's doing this and that. I too can do that. So I was doing some stuff at home because of being in like Fitbit challenges and stuff, but I wasn't like really pushing myself. And then it was like just being in the house. I work from home and I was doing that prior to the pandemic, but it's like, I'm in this room. I can see my bed from my desk because my son is back home. So that took my office. So it was like, I moved my desk back in here and it's like, I'm looking at the bed during the day. I just want to take a nap, 5:02, I'm laying down on the bed. So it was like, you got to do something. And one day I woke up early because I wake up early anyway. And it was like, why don't you go outside and walk? Because it was becoming just, because my son he still was out of the house going to work. And all the unknowns, which is still a lot of unknowns with during this pandemic with COVID and all of that, it's like, don't you come in my room. If you come in here, one day I straight Lysol my child, like, why you at my door? He's knocking on the door. And I'm like, yes, can I come in? You can open the door. No, you can't come in here. This is my space. Breathe easy. No. And I had to pray to get some peace, for myself. And again, not be Lysoling my child. Well, he's a young adult. He's
About to
26.
say
So
he's 26. He's not a
yeah,
baby.
he ain't
So
no baby.
y'all
but-
don't call CPS on her. She's not.
I know, right? But something that I did do, and again, my rise up was I did start doing more as far as being more active. So I get up in the morning and I go walk at 6 a.m. Well, I ain't done it lately, but I was doing it, and I'm gonna get back to it. But
right.
just getting up and going out and just being more active. And for me, that just made a big difference for me. And I was encouraged by seeing the post that Kimberly Johnson, who I met through this group, was putting on Facebook, or she, on Instagram. So thank you for that, Kimberly. And, and I'm going to continue to press forward to continue to stay active and to do stuff, even when this is over. So
I love it. Thank you, Cynthia. That's my roomie, my Bennett College roomie, Cynthia. Been friends for what, 30? How many years? 30? 35?
we'll just say 30 plus.
30 plus, yeah, that's good. 30 plus years. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. So you getting some love in the chat, in the comments too. So Michael Cheek, thank you. Michael Cheek says in YouTube, he says he wants to hug all of us. So thank you, Michael. He said I want to hug all y'all. And when this pandemic is over, Michael, you will get some hugs. You'll get some hugs. So Michael, I have to say, he's a sweetheart. He's hilarious. When we did have our little meet and greet up in Columbia, I had to leave earlier than everyone else. And he was such a gentleman. He walked me to my car without even me asking. I was just so impressed by that. So thank you, Michael. He is a true gentleman. Chivalry is not dead. So yes. So now, Charlene, you said you had a hard question for us.
I do.
Let's go on to the hard question.
Okay, so I say that to say I wanted to kick things off with us patting ourselves on the back, because I think that we all go through different life situations that have us down, and we don't always give ourselves that opportunity or that grace to say, "Hey, I'm actually doing okay." So now that we've done that, yay, ladies, we're good.
Yes.
My question now, though, is with COVID, you didn't have to sit down. You didn't have to be in the house with yourself. Now, if you over there doing some COVID with a partner, that's not none of my business. I don't pay no bills at your house. But for the rest of us, we have been at home by ourselves, with ourselves, and everything that involves. So my question is, ladies, what is something or some things you've identified about yourself that you need to rise up from?
Woo.
I still love y'all. Don't hurt me. I still love y'all.
That's a good one. That's a necessary one, Charlene, and I love it. Cynthia, I heard you say something. What did you say?
Drinking too much.
Oh, she said drinking too much. Yeah.
It's not where it was, but at one point that was a go-to, because I'm at home. So I'm not on the camera. So I fix breakfast, I go fix lunch, and I fix me a little beverage, Then after work, have me a little beverage. And it was like, hold on, get your life and put some self-control in here. So that's what I had to do. And that's what I'm doing, should I say.
Okay, that's good. That's real. Thank you. Kimberly Johnson, I see your hand now. I'm learning. You're on mute, Kimberly.
That was quick. You caught my hand. So for me, pre-COVID, and I think I may have shared this when we did our Galentine's. I was in play mode. I was dating 3 guys at a time. I was rolling. And
yes, play mode. You better work.
Yes. Like that.
But that really was a result of a heartbreak, really. And so after I had to sit down and really look at myself, I know that I do desire a real relationship. And so I'm not one to journal much. I've started more since we've been in this state, but I sat down and I created a list at the coaching of my therapist. Once I admitted to her that I wanted a real relationship, and I created a list, a detailed list of what I want in a man. And, just to sit back and look at myself and say, okay, this is what you want. Do you have what would attract this? And pretty much really just digging deep within myself so that when the time comes, I will be ready. And I still find myself, I have to move out of play mode. And that includes for me, not dating men that don't meet up to that list. Certain qualifications. I know, yeah, you may be cute, but I know because you're not on this list, I'm not going to take you seriously and it's not going to go anywhere. So that's what the pandemic has had me to sit down and realize that I was in play mode and doing all that because I was heartbroken. That's not to say I don't believe in dating multiple people, but with the intent of finding the one. Then I was just dating multiple people because, like, I dated this guy. He wasn't divorced yet. He was separated. He had really small kids, but he had a lot of money and he wanted to spend it. And I knew that wasn't a relationship for me, but it was because he didn't have a lot of time. So when I couldn't spend time with him, I would spend time with the other two, and just making it work. And so now I wouldn't date anyone like that. I wouldn't date a man that's not fully divorced because of what my intentions are. So I had to sit back and look at what I really want, write the list, look at myself. Do I have what it takes to get the list? And now I've never been one to think that love wasn't coming. But now, write the vision and make it plain, and I can run with it. Now I always thought love was coming, but now I see what it looks like for me. And I'm encouraged because I know it's coming.
All right. I like that. And you said that with conviction too. You know it's coming. All right. I love it. I love it. Wonderful. Wonderful. Anyone else want to share what their rise
So
up?
I definitely asked the question. So, let me put myself out there.
Sure. Okay.
Something that I had to rise up from, and I'm still working on this in this season, is lack of boundaries. I've always been the strong friend. I've always been the ride or die. I've always been the pull-up queen. Anything going on with people that I love, I'm the first phone call because I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna handle all that. And so with COVID, you can't go anywhere. You can't see people. You're not functioning in those same capacities. And my phone been on crickets since COVID because I can't, get to you as quickly as I would have before. Everybody's not working as much. So, you can't borrow a whole bunch of money from me right now. I'm paying my bills. And so it sort of showed me some people's intentions for me. It made me question what my intentions were with them. And it afforded me the space to be comfortable saying no. Because I don't like to say no because I don't like being told no.
Right.
So I've definitely lived my life in a space of yes. Oh, Charlene, can I borrow $500? Yeah. Can I drive your car? Yeah. Can we go on vacation? Yeah. But I just say yes because I don't want people to tell me no. But in this season, it just showed me that life is short. Tomorrow's not promised to anyone. And I need to put myself first.
Right.
So it's just boundaries. Making sure that I identify what those are for me, making sure that I implement them with those that I love and those that I want to be in my life, but being perfectly okay with them leaving if it doesn't work for them. Because at the beginning and the end of the day, I'm with me. I wake up to me. I have to face myself in the mirror. So I need to be okay with the decisions that I'm making for my life. I don't have a partner right now, but even if I were to have a partner, my intention and my hope is that that partner understands me and accepts me as I am. And as I grow, we grow together. There's no tension there. We're not pulling each other in different directions to where I can't be my authentic self with him and he can't be his authentic self with me.
Right.
So that for me is my rise up boundaries.
I love it. I love it. And I love your level of maturity and self-reflection, Charlene. That's one thing I've always loved about you. And your articulate questions and your thoughtfulness. You are That's why I said you're my little sister, and I love you, and I'm gonna be here for you. So you don't have to worry about them other folks that ain't answering the phone. You call me. Anyway, I see Keisha. I see your hand raised. Keisha's iPhone.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. I think the biggest thing for me is pretty much, tearing down the layers from, those roles that we carry.
Mm.
My daughter went off to school not too long ago, right before COVID. And, I've been a mother, I've been someone's wife, I've been a friend. I think what I've realized during this year is I've literally had to tear or pull away masks that I've carried so long and tear away those things and really just kind of deal with who I am, overcome myself, rise up from the person that I let the world see versus understanding who I truly am. And I wouldn't even say it's been the whole year, right? Like I've been enjoying the year and having a good time. It wasn't until, I had to sit down for a while due to some, a medical procedure. And that 6 weeks just drove me crazy because I could only deal with myself, and I think which put me on pause, really made me decide that it's time for me to pause a little bit and say, I have some selfish ways, Keisha, you got to deal with that. And if you want loving, you got to give love. If you want time, you got to give time. And so that's where I am right now, is rising up from who I was or who I portrayed myself to, to be to others, to who I am, trying to figure out who I am going forward,
Yes.
So, so that's all I wanted to contribute there.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. And that is definitely important. All of those things, identity, understanding your own identity and how you fit is important. I saw Stacy's hand and LaSheryl's. So Stacy F, and then, oh, you're pointing to LaSheryl first. You want to go? Okay, LaSheryl, go ahead, and then Stacy. LaSheryl, unmute yourself.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hey.
My Bennett sister. Another friend of 30 plus years.
Yes, just aged us.
No, we're like fine wine, sweetheart. We're fine wine. We get better with time.
Most definitely. So for me, during this time of being home alone and experiencing COVID and the pandemic and everything, self-care was a big thing for me. I've always been that type of person where it was top of my list: manicure, pedicure, hair done. That's just who I am. And not to be able to have that during the pandemic and not to necessarily possess those skills myself, it became a challenge for me. So I had to flip it around, as I do with so many other things, and use the humorous part of it. And I just remember one day I was sitting here and I actually braided my hair to my head. And when I braided it, I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, I look like Queen Latifah from Set It Off. And I actually took a picture, struck a pose, and just sent it to, my girlfriends, Rhonda, Cynthia, Stephanie, just to have a laugh, to get a release, so that I could allow myself to be okay, not being okay with the way I normally would look. So that was one thing for me, just allowing myself to be okay. I had to rise up from everything had to be, a certain way, and just be able to breathe and relax during this time that we really needed to just sit back and, really look at ourselves. So I had to allow myself to just breathe. The other thing for me was, I'm a giver naturally. So I'm always taking care of other people, putting other people's needs before mine. And I had to kind of cry my way out of it through the frustrations of dealing with some things, because my family was going through a transition. You know, my mom, she's 85, so it was time to sell the house and get her moved and get her packed, and just some other things were going on. And it just reminded me that with everyone else that you take care of, you have got to stop and put yourself first. Yep. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. Though you cannot take care of anyone else in the frame of mind that you're in, because you're not rested, you're not at peace, you have so much going on. So it reminded me to take care of myself. So that was another way I had to rise up, not just the physical. I had to take care of myself emotionally and mentally. Yep. And then the other thing that this quiet time has allowed me to kind of reflect and remind myself of is that I have to remember to trust myself. Because as we've gone through, you know, and I know some others have experienced the same things, you've gone through different relationships, and sometimes you kind of feel like, okay, wait, is my gauge off, or is it not working? Is it broke, or what's really going on here? But I learned, because I started talking to a gentleman a couple weeks ago, and we went out on a date, and we sat across from each other, and I allow people to talk and just tell me who they are, because I'll do the same thing. But as he was talking, I just started picking up on some things, like, okay, he may not be being as truthful as what he's saying he's being, and as genuine and as he's saying he's being. So I listened. I didn't react, I listened, but I still kept an open mind. But as it started progressing, I started hearing within myself that inner voice telling me things. And so it panned out to match up with what was going on the inside. And it was just an encouragement to me to, oh, you know what? You have everything that you need already inside of you. You have that discernment. Listen to the voice inside of you. And that was one thing that I was not doing in the past. So that was another area that I've been able to rise up in during this pandemic.
I love it. Thank you. See why we've been friends for 30 plus years. You know, your circle determines your future, right? So your network is part of it. So you got to be with the right people. So Stacy, my new friend, come on, you next. You had your hand raised, so come on, share with us, bless us.
I took it down in case some other people, you know, wanted.
No, come on. And then Kia, I see you. Kia, you're next. Go ahead.
I think for me, I realized that I am everybody's cheerleader. I am everybody's shoulder, savior, whatever, you know, everybody's everything. But for me, I am not. So I tend to focus more on this is bad, this happened, that happened, versus being a cheerleader for myself the same way I'm for everybody else, right? So the crazy thing is, all of these things that have happened over the years, months, days, weeks, whatever, I'm here with y'all. All my bills is paid. I got this going on. I got that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of stuff that technically could have knocked some people like out. Like, honestly, I probably should be on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got laid off from my job the month after I bought my house.
Oh my goodness.
The month after I bought my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine shelling out thousands of dollars for a crib, you know, and then being told that your pretty well-paying job is going away? You know what I'm saying? And then you're doing whatever you're doing, and then you go along, and then you get hit with a pandemic. So now it's 25 million other people that are now out of work. So then the jobs that you probably were about to get, those are now gone. You know what I'm saying? So you got to continue your hustle. You got to do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I am, like I said, no, none of my bills have not gotten paid. None of the stuff has not happened. None of, you know what I'm saying? I have not caught COVID. You know what I'm saying? And Armichi, I'm glad that you were able to do what you needed to do in the timing that you needed to do, because that is a blessing. There was a one point in time that I lost somebody almost every 7 days. It was like every 7 to 10 days, somebody was calling me like, well, you know, so-and-so that just died, and you know, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. So it was all of that on top of my own personal things. And I was not the cheerleader for myself to say that you can do it, you can make this happen, just do this, this, and this, and you got it, rah, rah, that I usually am for everybody else when they bring their problems to me, because they do it. Like everybody brings their problems to me, and I'm like, oh, hey, let me help you do this, let me do this, and it was just so like I focused on the negative side more than the positive side, like I do for everybody else. And I realized that I needed to start to shift that, because if I can do it for them, I can do it for me, you know. And so, you know, I had to rethink and move a little bit differently, because honestly, it is amazing where I am right now versus where I could be. It is amazing the amount of money I can put my hand on, like liquid money I can put my hand on.
You about to make me run around this
right
living
now.
room, okay?
You know what I'm saying? Versus where, you know what I'm saying, some other people are. And you know, like I definitely don't tell people that type of stuff. You know, people in my family don't know that type of stuff or whatever, because it is what it is, you know. And yeah, there's some people that know that I got laid off, but they didn't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So it was still about me having to hustle and do what I got to do. And it was nobody but God that got me to here, because, you know, it's very hard for you to say, hey, guess what? I got laid off on this. Oh yeah, but then I had a contract for this. And in the meantime, I started 2 LLCs for this. And I went and got licensed in real estate for this, because I wanted to do this and this and this.
I told you, you about to make me run, girl.
Even in that time, you know, that I got laid off, I'm still over here kind of like, oh, what's happening? Because there's some things that need to be done with the house. But this much time has passed, and I can still put my hands on this much liquid money. And I'm not talking 401k, I'm talking about go to the bank.
Yes.
And that for me is like the deepest, like I just can just walk around this house and praise them, because I don't, you know what I'm saying? I can't explain that. So I realized that I have to continue to be my own cheerleader, because at the end of the day, if I don't do it for me, I can't expect other people to do it for me.
I love
But that's something that I've had to rise up. Like, I gotta stop giving more to other people than I'm gonna give to myself.
Well, what's that meme? That part, yes. And you and Charlene had the same testimony, right? About giving to others, and I do the same. But that's why I have my core group: LaSheryl, Cynthia, and Stephanie. They all on the screen. That's my core. And I stopped doing all the stuff for everybody else, because I realized when I was in need, it's like you said, crickets, Charlene. Where their mindset is, oh, Rhonda got it. She gonna figure it out. She good, right? And so, and yes, Rhonda did figure it out. She is good, because Rhonda trusts God and everything else. But yeah, so I'm super proud of you. I'm now your new cheerleader. I've been your cheerleader since I met you. I love you dearly, but this is just taking it to a whole new level. I am super duper proud of you. I love it when my sisters are just out here killing the game, and you are doing that. And kudos to you. We are still here, and that story was shared for a reason, because you just bless somebody. You bless somebody.
Do I
Definitely.
need to come put my foot on somebody's neck? Y'all know I travel.
She does travel now.
No.
I think Stacy can handle herself.
I
Right?
know, hey, we both from Michigan, so we know
That's what I'm
what's good.
saying.
So you know, I know I can call you Charlene, but you know,
The boots in the trunk, they don't never leave the car. Just let me know if I gotta just put it on their neck.
Right, and you know she.
No, I'm good. It's just, you know, it's been a lot. Like I said, it was almost like one thing after another, and I still feel like sometimes it's one thing after another. And honestly, I'm just trying to find the breakthrough, like the the major win. Like, you know what I'm saying? Outside of saying to y'all right now that I'm still in my house that that I bought
Hello.
before 1 month before I lost my job. Like
That is a major win. Hello. Hello. That is a major win.
so
You are
yeah,
walking in the win right now. Walk in
right.
it.
And so that's why I was saying, like, I have to stop thinking about like, oh my gosh, what's the next shoe to drop, and just relax in this miracle, like right here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Exactly. Exactly. So, and that thank y'all. That is so wonderful. Thank you for sharing, everyone for sharing that. And that brings me to the post that Ms. Davis, who's here but with her camera off, shared. I found it. I want to read it real quick, and we can talk about this. It said, "I don't date. I elevate. If my energy alone doesn't get you aroused, then I ain't the one for you. If my spirit doesn't uplift you, then put the connection down. If my genius doesn't help you think deeper, then don't mind me. If my passion doesn't move you, then move past me. If I don't help you evolve, then don't get involved with me. If my love doesn't open your heart, then don't fall for me. Love thyself." When I saw that post, and I know it didn't get a lot of comments because people like to comment on the drama stuff, but that right there, I downloaded the picture. I have it right here. I keep it. I look at it because did y'all just hear the testimonies, the stories? Kia, I'm coming to you. I promise you, I'm coming to you. The stories from these powerful, phenomenal, educated Black women. All of this has happened in a pandemic, y'all. We have a COVID survivor who's thriving, who's just beautiful, just gorgeous, just beautiful woman, beautiful inside and out. I can tell already. We have just I'm sorry. Let me calm myself because I get excited when I see greatness, and I'm a part of greatness. And the thing that I will say I had to rise up from was doubting my own greatness. I wrote a book 6 years ago. Yeah, December 31st will be 6 years, entitled "Your Greatness Matters." But I felt like a fake because I didn't feel my own greatness. But sitting still, curled up in a ball the first couple of weeks of this pandemic, I'm be honest, I was scared, worried for my parents, worried for myself, worried for my kids. My kids are adults, but they all are essential workers, so they were out in this, and worried for my own personal health. It took a lot, but in the midst of that, I was reminded of my greatness, challenged to apply for a promotion that I wasn't even thinking about. When I heard the woman was leaving, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. But it was a position that was like two or three, four leaps above my position. But because at the time I was a teacher, but before I became a teacher, I have had a career in operations for 20 years. The position that came open was the head of operations, which is now basically the executive director of the school. And I was like, I can't apply for that. I'm a teacher. I know not everyone in here is Christian, so I don't want to offend anyone, but I am a Christian and I know I hear the voice of God. And I was literally driving to the grocery store the day that the application was due. And God said, if you don't turn this car around and go back and apply for that job. And so I did. I didn't go to the grocery store. I exited off, came home, submitted my resume. 10 minutes later, I got a message back from the because I'm a charter school, so our network is out in Arizona, from the vice president that's handling that. And she was like, we were wondering if you were going to apply. Went through all the hoops and the interviews and all that stuff. And now I'm the head of operations of this school. And in time to be the person to help protect the staff when it came to this COVID stuff, because it was up to the other people. They would have everybody in the building. They would have people doing things that would put themselves in danger. But I was like, nope, the guidelines say this, right? And so those types of things. And it's all God. And I know that it's a pandemic promotion and he did this. And so I know I had to elevate myself. I had to recognize my own greatness and rise up from doubting it and move forward in it, not just because of the job part, but even in my business and just in dealing with other people. And I know eventually the relationship piece will recognize that greatness too, but that's coming later. Kia, let me come back to you because I've seen your hand for a minute and I did not want to ignore you.
First of all of y'all, two things. One, I just want to send extra love to my Bennett Bell sisters
Yes,
out
Bells
there.
on it.
Yes, yes. And there's a bunch of us in this group, and I'm definitely gonna make sure everybody on. This has just been such a blessing. I was just in another Zoom meeting, and I was like, something was just like, because we're talking about rising up, and you never know what's gonna bless your soul. And this has been it. This is what I needed today. But one thing I've learned that's been my I don't want to say propelled my propulsion to rise up is I had to learn the art of forgiveness. And
yes.
let me be very specific, because we always talk about forgiving someone. I'm talking about I had to learn how to forgive myself.
Yes.
And it's like I'm coming out of a very long marriage, and a separate relationship that was very emotionally and verbally abusive. And I am angry and I'm mad and I'm a workaholic. I'm constantly doing something. And this pandemic forced me to sit down. And it forced me to become introspective. And I was like, you know what? I can forgive my ex-husband for this, and I can forgive my ex-boyfriend for this, and I can forgive this person for this. And I'm so busy forgiving people and then asking them to forgive me how I may have hurt them. But I'm still, I have the anxiety, I have everything else. But once I sat down and I was like, you know what, girl, you done some stuff to yourself, out of fear, out of whatever. When are you going to just forgive yourself? And then when that started to happen, it's like, I know I'm not the only one. I woke up one morning and I was crying and I did not know why. But I realized for the first time, and in years, I was rested.
Ooh.
When I say I'm not saying physically rested. I felt rested and I felt lighter. And I'm like, oh, well, let me try this again. So I'm like a lot of folks, I'm not one to journal. I started writing down all the offenses I did against myself. If I'm just going to sliver this pie to death, or if I'm just not going to work out today, or if I'm just going to look in the mirror and say, you just don't look right today, you look ugly. This is the stuff the world can tell me. Let me forgive myself for my self-doubt. Let me forgive myself for my self-harm. Let me forgive myself for things I've done against myself. And that, has started bringing me that peace to where I can say, if I'm not going to let myself disturb my peace, can't nobody else. And it's so funny because when you stop letting people disturb your peace, you see who those people really are. Yes. And can I tell you the amount of anger I have gotten from people because I have shut down an argument? I was in a conversation with someone and he was like, well, why didn't you do it? I was like, I forgot. I legitimately forgot. His words were like, that's a lie. I'm like, all right, well, that's a lie. I will talk to you later. And I'm not going to engage. And I hung up the phone. And then the phone call was like, you owe me for hanging up the phone. I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you anything, but I'm not going to disturb my peace. You going to be angry, you be all right.
Right.
You be all right. I don't have to sleep with you at night. You don't pay a bill in this house. You're not buying food from my refrigerator. You'll be okay, but I'm going to protect my peace.
Yes.
At the end of the day, because I don't know how about y'all, but there is no better feeling. And you're talking to, I get up at 3:00 in the morning And some of those mornings I'm getting up at 3, I wasn't going to bed until midnight.
Wow.
So when I say I like being rested, physically, mentally, emotionally rested, and it's a process, but the art of forgiveness, and we're taught this, we always have to forgive, and forget. Was it forgive and forget? But we're never taught to truly forgive ourselves for whatever we may or may not have done, but it just brings back it's that release, because you know where your peace comes from, and once you focus on that, and like I said, it's a process. It's a process. I'm still learning the process, because I still do some of that, looking in the mirror in the morning, that girl, what is going on with your hair? Type situation. But I know I'm learning how to not let the world determine and let outsiders determine how I'm going to view me. And then when I do, just automatically, you know what? Give yourself that self-forgiveness. Let it go.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, sis. Thank you. Thank you. All of this. Yes, all of this. So I see the hand from LaShirl and Kimberly, but I also see a new hand from SB. Is that Cena? So
Yeah.
Cena? Okay. Cena, can I come to you first, and then I'll come back to LaShirl and Kimberly. And we have 15 minutes, y'all, till our time is up. So we're gonna wrap up shortly. Go ahead.
So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I switched my name, but I just been listening. I've been chilling in the background today, but I just was gonna say, like, just to the topic of Rise Up, like, a few people in the group know how at least the last few months since I've been in this group have been for me. And one of the biggest things I would say was a few months back in August, I won't say I ended, but I would say that one of the things that I had to this year the hard way was, I guess, taking accountability for situations that I have found myself in because I've been too giving, and just taking a back seat to other people that I consider like friends. And so, excuse me, I'm losing my voice here. So one of the biggest losses that I pegged from this year was that of a friendship that I've had since I was 7 years old. And it was so, like, I guess the conversation started because of, I guess, one of those cliche sayings of the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like one last straw for me that did it. And then when I spoke to her, needless to say, that conversation happened in August. We haven't spoken since. And I've reached out several times since, and to no avail, of course. And it wasn't until I brought it up to my therapist, just the situation. And, she hit me with the hardest question that a couple people had said in years past, and I just kind of ignored. But it was more so like, how were y'all even friends? Like, what was it about her that you considered a best friend? And, it wasn't until I really sat and reflected, and her birthday passed last week. And this is the first birthday since we were 7 and 8 that we have not spoken. And, I took the time because, one of my friends informed me, they said, well, you've tried to reach out. Don't push the envelope. I wouldn't say anything on her birthday. If she's ready to come back, she can come to you. And the hardest pill for me, I finally sat down, and on her birthday, rather than reach out to her, I decided to write a letter to her, and just everything that didn't get said, just kind of put it all on the table. Because for me, I tend to write a lot of how I feel. And once I addressed the question with myself and I looked at the letter, my therapist asked me once again, what was it about her? Why are y'all even friends? Why do you consider her so close? I couldn't even answer the question, but miraculously, I wrote 8 pages as to what the friendship has done to me over 20 years. And once I read the 8 pages to myself, I was like, well, damn, like, at what point did we become best friends? Like, how did she get this title? I don't get it. So we know one of the things I had to really come back from this year as the year closes is just learning to not only accept that people can grow apart, but just accept that, it's okay if everybody's not my friend. I've been a people pleaser for so many years that it's gotten me to this point, and I'm like, you know what do I have to show for it? I've gotten the short end of the stick. So I'm like, it's okay if I'm not a people pleaser. It's okay for me to say no. It's okay for me to not do something for people or not feed into the vision or the dream imagination that they have about who I should be to them just because they feel I should be that to them. And it's okay. Like, I had to give myself grace that that's okay. It doesn't make me selfish. It doesn't make me a bad person for taking me first. That's something that I've had to come to grips with after 30 plus years, is learning how to, acknowledge me first and not worry about what everybody feels or says about me, towards me, or whatever, And the other thing with this year is just, it's just the fact that moving forward, I have to learn to, like Stacey and a few other ladies said before, is be my own cheerleader. Because one revelation I had last week was that I've been so badly verbally criticized by people that I considered friends for being excited for things that I've done for myself, that I don't even know how to celebrate things that I've done for myself. So, excuse me. And of course, I noticed that when I got my house, I kind of pointed that out to a couple people that asked me about why I wasn't so hyped about it. But it really came to the forefront just recently. I've been called bougie. I've been called, people have been in my pockets wondering how she do this, why she got to do this every other. And, I just had to give myself grace. Like, wait a minute, I need to learn how to celebrate myself, because I didn't get to these things easily. I busted my ass. I worked hard to get what I have, and I shouldn't be made to feel bad about it. So,
Exactly.
just a couple of things that I've had to, I guess you could say, come back from this year, or rise up from this year.
Yeah. And we appreciate you sharing, and we will celebrate with you. We've been celebrating with you. I was just thinking about you the other day, Cena. I was like, I love Cena. She's just so sweet. And so thank you for sharing that. You deserve to be celebrated. Yeah, that's what's happening in the chat here. So yes, Kimberly Johnson, and then LaShurl, and then at that point it will be time for us to close out. Y'all, the time has gone by so fast, went by so quickly. Go ahead, Kimberly.
So I just wanted to share this after what Kia said, because it's a gem that my therapist gave me, because I think a lot of us are hard on ourselves and have issues with forgiving ourselves. And so I was beating myself up, honestly, with her about some decisions I made. And, she always brings up how compassionate I am with other people. But she said this time, instead of just saying show compassion to me, she said, you need to look at the person you were when you made those decisions and when you did those things that got you where you are, and have compassion for that person. Because like Stacey said, for me, 2020 is cool. 2019, latter part of 2018 and 2019 was really hard. And I was beating myself up based on the decisions I made. And she realized, she said to me, you were in survival mode. And what would you tell somebody that was in survival mode and is flourishing now? And she said, you have to be compassionate and think of who you were at the time when whatever that is happened that you need to forgive yourself for, and show compassion to that person. Don't look at who you are now, but who you were when you did that, and be compassionate with that person. So I just wanted to share that with the ladies, because I know as Black women, we can be hard on ourselves and be very critical of ourselves, and just a way to look at it from a different angle.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. LaShurl, you had something to share?
Yes, I was in a women's group before I came onto this Zoom. And this particular lady shared something, and I think it's so befitting for this particular subject of rising up. In order for us to rise up, we have to reclaim some things that we lost in the past. And she read this, and I want to read this real quickly. Reclaiming your time. I'm reclaiming my time. Reclaim means to retrieve, recover something that was previously lost. My time I spent helping others reach their goals and fulfilling their dreams, and I'm too exhausted to work on my own. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my time that I have wasted or spent with others that has robbed me of my emotional, spiritual, and physical health. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming finances lost over making bad decisions when I have tried to help people who cannot or will not help me in my time of need. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my calendar, not sacrificing my time planned for me and my family because of other people's last minute decisions. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my time spent in business and not in busyness and not productivity. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my time spent on bad communication and wasted on other people's problems who have no desire to change anyway. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming all victories lost because of distractions. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming my job loss or income because of life's circumstances. I'm reclaiming my time. 2021 will be the year for me to reclaim, to recover, to readjust, to re-strengthen, to restrict, to reincorporate, to reconnect, to reestablish, to redefine, to resist, to refresh, to recuperate, to rejuvenate, to reactivate, to reduce, to replenish, to rebalance, to reframe, to repair. Sis, reclaim your time.
Woo, Lord have mercy. We are reclaiming it, ladies. We are rising up. We are rising up. We are rising up. We're not going to get caught up in the drama. We're not getting caught up in the foolishness. We got caught up in the comparisons and the preferences and the whatever. We are rising up. We are reclaiming our time. We are all that bag of chips, the whole store, everything. Like Charlene said, we lit. We are lit. Is that what you said, Charlene? We are lit. We are, y'all. Oh, I am fighting back the tears. Like I said, I cry on every little thing, but that was powerful. I'm fighting back the tears because this was obedience to God, because He gave me the rise up the other day. I played the song "Rise Up." I went to look for it. I was watching on Netflix the Voices of Fire, and quite a few of the people that were auditioning were singing. What's her name? Audra Day's song "Rise Up." So I went to YouTube to actually, because I had never heard the whole song. And the video is powerful. If you have not seen the official video, it is powerful. It is this woman with her husband who has been paralyzed in war, and everything that she's doing for them to have a date night. And it really made me think about us, the power and the strength. And in the video is a Black woman. It looks like her husband might be white or Latin. But she was the strength in this for them to have this relationship. And it made me think about us. You know, again, we are single. We're all single here. We say that we want, most of us, some of us might not, some might not want a relationship or like a marriage relationship. We might just want to have playtime, and that's cool. I had my season of that. I did. But when you really think about it and wanting to rise up to the level of what it's going to take, like I've been married before, or what it takes to have a successful marriage, it's way more than the exterior. It's way more than how much money do you make. It's way more than how tall are you or how much do you weigh, right? And so we have to rise up to get that. And thank you, LaSheryl. That reclaim, we got to reclaim our time. But thank you, Charlene, for helping us celebrate what we have already done. Because again, everything comes against us in so many different ways, right? There's so many messages out there that tell us that we are not enough, and we are more than enough. We are some amazing, incredible, beautiful, intelligent, articulate, entrepreneurial, thoughtful, kind, caring women. And if the men in the lounge can't see that, boo boo on them. And whoever is meant to see it will. We are enough. And even if, if we end up being single, because the session that the woman had, I can't remember her name, about the question about single. She asked, "Are you prepared to be single for the rest of your life?" And at first I was like, no. But then I was like, I could. I don't want to. It's not my choice. But if I had to, I could. So ladies, thank you for helping me rise up again. And again, understand my greatness. It's not a brag. It's not a I'm better than. It's a I am enough. So no one is going to tell us that we're not. We have been through more fires than most people could even look at, right? And as my pastor says, we're still here, right? So as we continue to go through the holiday season, this can be a time when things just really get difficult, when we can't go visit our families, we can't do the things that we normally do. Let's lean on each other. Let's check in on each other, because again, we're usually, most of us have said that we're usually the strong ones. Let's check in on each other. Let's love up on each other. Let's help each other rise up. And as we go into 2021, we're going to reclaim everything. Everything. Yes, I'm seeing Ms. Davis. I'm seeing all you, and we're and like she said in her post, we don't date, we elevate. Right. And we're going to continue to adjust our crowns, and the crowns of queens around us. Thank you, Ms. Davis. We are enough. So, ladies, we are right on time. It's 10 o'clock. I don't know, Verdina, do you have our music to take us out? Thank you all so much. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Kwanzaa, a Happy New Year. Mwah. I love you all. Please stay connected. Inbox me, reach out. We can chit chat, we can talk, we can call. I'm excited. I love you all. I know that we're making some changes in the schedule. I don't know when the next Velvet Room will be. Oh, I must say, let's pray for Arshina. Arshina has been ill for the last week or so. Let's keep her in your prayers. She has stepped away from being the host. She has so much going on with her new promotion. Yes, she got a promotion in this pandemic, and her role with her sorority. So she stepped away from being our co-host, but she still loves us. She's still here. But let's keep her in our prayers as well. So again, thank you all. Love you. Have a great night. And we'll see you in 2021. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Verdina. Thank you, Ava. Thank you, Charlene, for your amazing questions.
Good night, ladies.
Yes. Good night, Roxanne. Thank you for joining us. Come back, come back, come back.